Sales screen, the basics. To get to the sales screen, simply click the red box in the top left hand corner that says Sales Mode. When you click on it, this opens the sales screen. On a till system, that will usually fill the entire screen, and you could have widescreen variants or square variants like the one I'm using here. You can double click it and it'll stretch to any size anyway, but obviously if you're using a square template and you've got a widescreen system, it can look a bit stretched like this is. So I'm just going to put it about there, and for the purpose of this video, I'll try and keep it the right aspect ratio like that. Okay, so this is the sales screen. As we said on a previous video, you can design this however you want. If you want the cart on the right hand side, you can put it on the right hand side. It's however you want it to look. Okay, but this is just a video covering the basics about how you serve a customer. So if it's a retail environment and you want to just scan products, just simply scan the product like this. And that comes up 1 at £15.50. If the customer wants 2, you can either click the 1 and change the quantity to 2 like that, or you could say times 3 and then scan the product, and that will also work like that as well. If you want to get rid of a product out of the cart, just simply highlight the line, click void, and that removes the line out of the cart there. The top left here shows the amount for the customer, so it's always updated live, so any special offers, they are always considered straight away instantly. So let's put that back to 1. Of course, you could just scan the item again if you wanted to. It's up to yourself. Some people even draw a little button here to press +1, so you can just press that and it keeps going up like this. However, if they wanted just one of them, if they gave you a £20 note, just click £20, and that not only puts the sale through, but also shows the change here, £4.50. And that will stay there in the top left-hand corner until you scan the next item or press a button on the screen. Sometimes the system locks after each transaction as well. Or you could lock it manually if you need to walk away by pressing the lock button like this. And then you just touch your name, put your password in, or obviously much easier, just put your fingerprint on as well. So again, scanning a product, very straightforward. If you wanted to pay increments, you could say they gave me a £10 note, a £5 note, and a £1 coin. As soon as there's enough money in the cart that pays for the entire cart, then the transaction will go through automatically. You can, of course, just type in £16 cash. That one works as well. And if they gave you exactly the right amount of money, you can just press cash on its own. Cash drawer opens and the change is displayed being 0. So you have 3 different ways of doing that there. If it's a credit card transaction and it's not integrated, make sure it says approved on the chip and pin machine and then just press card like that and it'll go through. If it is integrated, depending on the acquirer, then it will come up with a box saying tell the customer to insert their card or tap it or anything like that. Only once the transaction is fully authorized will the system accept and put the sale through. You may, of course, want to put a bit of cash and a bit of card or other payment methods. So you could scan the items like that and say other, and then say £10 cash, and the rest is card. And that puts the sale through too. But there is a quick and easier way, in my opinion. You can just scan 2 items like this and say £10 cash, and the rest is exactly the right amount of money in card, like this. That will then put the sale through completely. If you've got products that are either too heavy to put on the counter, or too difficult to scan, or simply don't have barcodes or anything like that, you can make buttons for them like you can see here. So we've got 9 example boxes there that we would draw. So obviously each store would be different depending on what type of store it is. So you could press dog and then you're inside the dog section. You could press back and it will take you back where you are. Or you could press home here, which will, no matter how many levels deep there is, it will always take you right back to the first screen. So you could say dog, Arkwrights and Bakers, click on one of the boxes and they put the items in like this. Okay, and you can press back, and you could have other items there too. Depending on whether you've got the setting turned on or not, you'll see there's a question mark upside down on some of the items. That simply means that these items are out of stock, so you might want to check that what your quantity levels are, make sure they're correct for that particular item. If you've got a back office or a keyboard in front of you, you can also shift click and delete multiple lines at the same time too. If you're serving somebody and they don't have their wallet on them or purse, or for whatever reason they're not ready to perform the sale yet, you can simply go to cart number 2, serve someone else, and then come back to cart 1 when you're ready. As you will notice, it has a different colour when there's items in the cart, or which cart you've got currently selected as well. If the item is a miscellaneous item, in other words, you don't want it in your system ever, you've got a button here called miscellaneous or non-stock item. If you tap that, it will ask you, do you want to give it a name? And always obviously give it a name. So if you just say dog toy, since this is a pet demo at the moment, we're going to press accept, enter selling price, so £2, accept. You can of course give it a cost, you can change its VAT rate or tax rate, you can say whether this price includes VAT or it's exclusive of VAT. You can even give it a category, so at least on your statistics the product will go in the correct category. If you press tick, that product then goes into the cart, but it won't come out of stock or anything, and you haven't had to put it in your system. So if it's something like a bargain bucket, you just want to get rid of it and you never want it in your system, you can press miscellaneous. It's also useful for times when you've missed an item or a service that doesn't have a barcode, you want to quickly put it in, get the customer out the door, and then you can put it in with a pop-up button at a later date. At the moment, we've got receipts turned off. There is a setting in software settings that always enables it. But you could turn receipt on, put a sale through, and then the receipt will go back to off. But if the setting is turned on, it will do the opposite. This will stay on, and when the sale goes through, it'll stay on, and then when you put the sale through, it will do the inverse of whatever the setting is. You've also got a find item here as well. So if you want to look for a product, you can click find item, and it's an intelligent search here. So if you put in, say, 12 kg space Grange, even though the words are the wrong way round, it will still find the item. So always try and use singular words, not plural. Of course, other times, sometimes the barcode is missing or half the barcode is visible because someone's put a sticker over it. You can also search by just a partial barcode as well. So just keep typing in until you see it, or it could be any part of the barcode. Tap the item, press tick, and then that goes into the cart like so. Back to that find item, you can also search by internal reference codes, categories, manufacturers, suppliers, even putting half of supplier codes in and so on. Obviously, we generally limit the results to 100 to keep it quick. And if you press edit layout, you can even customize which columns are shown on the front screen. So you can decide, actually, I'd like to add this column or this column in the search as well. If I was to type in beta as well like this, you can not only search by text, but you can actually click this button here, and those that have pictures against them, you can choose them with the picture. You can say, I want that one, press tick, and that one can go in the cart too. We've also added the ability to search by extended fields as well. So if you have your own fields that you've made up and you want to search by them, feel free to type in any search terms in there as well. If you want to search the results, if you want to order the results, you do so like this, ticking one of those boxes, and you can say whether it's ascending or descending in the results too. One of the last sections we'll show, just on the basics parts, is view sales. If you click on this, I'll just drag this because it's going to be on the screen there. This shows you all the transactions that we've done today. But of course, we could show this week. We could even do a detailed search. We could say, just show me roughly all sales between this dates, and they've bought these products, they paid with this payment method, and so on. And if it doesn't come up on the list, the transaction probably never happened. You can also back print a receipt. So just because they weren't the last person to be served, you could say print a receipt or a gift receipt or a prep ticket for the kitchen or warehouse. You can also print an A4 version of the receipt like that. And we've got some other features there as well, which we'll discuss in a later video as well. These layouts as well, they can also be customized as well, so you can decide which columns you want to see when you're generally viewing the view transactions list here. This is just this store as well. You can also click this and go to different stores and see the transactions of another store, providing you have the right level of access as well. And one of the last buttons to show on this screen at the moment is print receipt 2. So if you've served somebody and the receipts are usually off, just press print receipt and that will print a receipt for the last successful transaction on this terminal only. One last thing actually we'll show is the global carts. So when we were going between different carts here, we call these local carts. But if you press the X button, you can see global carts, usually used for tables such as restaurants and so on. So if I went on to global cart 3 or table 3, then anything I put in the cart here will also be visible on all of the other tills as well. So as you can see, cart 2 and cart 1 already have something in them, whereas cart 3, 4 doesn't. You can also select a table number or make as many of these boxes as you want. Usually people draw the tables out depending on the orientation of their store too. Also, Alexander, you can click on this and have table number 256 if you want. There's no limit to how many tables you can have. So again, table 1 is different to local cart 1 too. So again, the local carts are just this till only, whereas this button here is for the whole store, so any till can access those.